Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to 3303. This is where I take a look at the news and happenings in and around Elite Dangerous. Today we look at the PlayStation 4 version of Elite Dangerous. There's some new trailers which, amongst many other things, show off some spiked cobras. We get our first glimpse of the ship nameplates, and there's a LEGO Asp Explorer under consideration. Before we get into today's video, you may be wondering why the voice audio quality sounds slightly different today. If you are wondering that, the answer is very simple. It's because I'm away from home at the moment and am recording with a completely different setup. So now you know what that's all about. Let's get on with it. This weekend it was PAX East over in Boston in the United States. Now Frontier attended and they had a booth on the show floor, and in addition to that they did a number of live streams. Now during these live streams they showed off a bunch of upcoming content for the game, most of it included in the 2.3 update that we're currently testing on the beta servers. Of note is the fact they showed off two different trailers for the 2.3 update. Here you can see the Unknown trailer, that they've called the Unknown trailer because it features one of the unknown ships that have been interdicting people whilst during in hyperspace recently. Now at the start of this trailer you can see some rather interesting ships. There's a Cobra here and it seems to have a spiked ship kit. Makes the ship look very interesting indeed. Now I suspect it's likely that these ship kits are going to be a store purchase, but part of me hopes that these will be a gameplay focused kit, something that you can unlock whilst playing the game, and that they may be required for these alien ship encounters. And just so we know, this ship kit isn't limited to the Cobra. Slightly further into the video you also see the same spikes outfitted to an Asp Explorer. So all in all, a very interesting trailer here. I won't spoil it for you, you've probably seen it by now at any rate. It does have quite a high number of views, but if you haven't, do check out the link in the video description where you can watch the full trailer. It does seem to indicate that the next step in the story of the arrival of the aliens does seem to be unfolding. As to how much the aliens will be present within the 2.3 update, we don't know, but there's still always the patch 2.4. Now there is an interview during the PAX with David Braben where he's on camera talking about the lore and history of Elite Dangerous, and he does mention that we've been on the precipice of the arrival, or perhaps even a war with the aliens for quite a long time now, and he also says that we could well be on the precipice for quite a while longer yet. So I guess we shouldn't be holding our breaths about that for the moment. On Friday, for the first time, Frontier showed off the PlayStation 4 version of Elite Dangerous. We saw this in action as Ed Lewis played it live on air during their PAX East event. Now, the game seemed to play very smoothly and with relatively few problems. There was one or two crashes, but those were relatively quickly overcome with a quick reboot, and that's to be expected with a pre-release build. Now Frontier were very keen to stress that the PlayStation 4 version is not being dumbed down at all, and that it's essentially the same version that we're seeing on the PC. It wasn't explained which version of the console they are actually playing on. We don't know if it's the original version of the PlayStation 4 or whether it's the PlayStation Pro version. But Frontier did state that the PlayStation 4 Pro version will have a bit more grunt behind it, but how that actually translates to features or performance, again, we don't know. And there was no mention made at all of the PlayStation VR. So whether or not that will be enabled with the game, we're going to have to wait and see, but hopefully it's something that will feature, as Elite Dangerous is great when it comes to virtual reality. Another standout aspect of the PlayStation 4 version of Elite Dangerous is that it's going to have a HOTAS support. Now for those of you that don't know, a HOTAS is throttle and stick. That means you've got a joystick in one hand and a throttle control in the other. And due to the nature of Elite Dangerous, throttle and stick is generally one of the best ways of playing the game. So the fact that this is going to be available on a console is really exceptional news. Unfortunately, there's no news as to whether this sort of support is going to make it to the Xbox version of the game, but for now it seems somewhat unlikely. I'm also very interested to find out the extent of HOTAS support for the PlayStation. Is it simply limited to the version of the stick they showed off on air, or could you plug in another stick like the Warthog for example? So some further clarification on this would be great, but for now it's awesome news in and of itself that the console will indeed be supporting a flight and stick. We've known for a while that the patch 2.3 update is going to come with support for ship names. What we haven't seen is how these are going to actually translate into game. We have known that the store is going to be providing decals, and for the first time Frontier showed these off during their live stream, and you can see some of the examples on screen now. It seems they come in multiple formats, and these are, unfortunately or fortunately I guess depending on how you look at it, these are going to be purchasable from the Frontier store. But how many versions of these you actually get with a single purchase is still unknown. I'm hoping that they come in a single pack so you get all formats from a single purchase. By default, everyone is going to get the ability to name their ship, but you won't be able to display it on the side of the ship without one of these decals. Frontier went on to show some further cosmetic purchases on these occasions for the avatar. Now, there's going to be new types of flight suits available. By default, there's basically solid colour options you get. But there's going to be other enhanced versions of the suit available from the Frontier store, and in addition to that there's going to be other options such as tattoos. Again, you can see examples on the screen here, and all of these cosmetic updates along with the ship names are going to be available shortly after the game hits the live servers. If, like me, you're a big kid and a fan of LEGO, you're going to love this LEGO Asp Explorer. Now, this has been created by a fan, and it's also available on the LEGO Ideas website, whereby if you show enough support, it has the potential to make it into a real-life kit. Here are a few screenshots, you can see them playing in the background. This kit was designed by Crash Helmets, and well, basically it's a pretty huge undertaking. It's made from over 1400 parts of LEGO, and it now features a retractable underside boarding ramp, and you can see at the front the now iconic canopy. If you'd like to show your support for this LEGO kit and increase the chances of it making it to a real-life purchasable kit, then do head on over to the LEGO Ideas website and register your interest there. It needs to hit 10,000 votes, which is quite a significant amount, but already, as of this recording, it's already well over 700, so there's a chance it could happen, and it has got 419 days left. So then, that brings us to the end of this episode of 3303. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.